Politicians, whether it is the Igbo politicians or the Hausa politicians or the Yoruba politicians, these people we are talking about is less than 5,000 people that take all of us for a jugular. It's just for us who doesn't have common sense.
Our brother Cosmas Maduka, he has something very important to tell the people, to tell the youth, to tell the country. So please sit back, relax, let's listen to him. After that, we'll have a very important and productive conversation.
The politicians, whether it is the Igbo politicians or the Hausa politicians or the Yoruba politicians, these people we are talking about is less than 5,000 people that take all of us for a jugular. It's just for us who doesn't have common sense. If we have common sense, we'll put them to where they belong.
With their bullets and guns.
But if you are not willing to make a sacrifice, you can't make omelette without breaking egg. Check what happened in Egypt. Somebody had to put himself on fire for the revolution to happen. What happened in France? The young people here have given up in the country. That's why they are taking them for a ride. When you move out to go, how many of you would they kill? They will kill 1,000 or they will kill 100,000. If you need to pay price for the other people, if you don't pay price, generation unborn for aeons of years will hold us responsible that in our generation we did nothing. Those guys running away from the toll gate was the worst mistake they did.
Seriously.
I'm telling you, they should have stood there.
That very day,
that day and dare those people for the once and for all.
Wow.
The oppressors know the game, they understand it. Once they did that and they know you are afraid of it, then they will never leave. All they know is themselves and their family.
Yes.
They will never change. If they kill 5,000 Nigeria, the whole country will change. That will be the end of all this mess. But 5,000 have paid the price to redeem 200 million people. But 200 million people say, let 5,000 people do with us whatever they like. They like the shit in our head, we eat their shit. And we are happy with it. Or we leave the country for them. And they are happy. You think they are going to release power for free? You are joking. This is their life. They believe in it. These young people need to take their destiny in their own hand and say, we have had enough of this. If I'm a young man, maybe I would have lived a revolution. I am 66. I'm going to be 70 in 4 years. I'm 67 this year. So another 14, 13 years, I'm 80 years. It has passed our own time. But if I'm 18, 19, 21, 23, 24, 25, you think I will not do anything? With the life I live, we're coming up, I would have done something.
Wow.
This federal character is the problem. Create a level playing field so that the best of us could come out. Am I saying there's no good people there are many first-class brains in the northern part of Nigeria and in other part of this country who will excel. But until we have a country that is based on equity and best brain, we will never make any progress as a nation. It's not about preference of where you come from. I'm not asking for any preferential treatment. What I need is a level playing field. Any young man or woman, you make yourself when you are young. If you don't need to wait till you become 30 or 40, go check. Statistics prove 86% of successful people on the face of this earth all became between the age of 12 and 28. And I made my first $2 million by the age of 24. If you don't get it by 30, you already miss it. All the people are waiting to become billionaire at 40, 45. They are...
I want to acknowledge him before I fault him because I have a lot to say here. I want to say thank you to him for at least speaking out. A high standard man like him, a billionaire, who should have relaxed and enjoy his life. But here he is speaking to the youth, telling the youth, telling the entire country what they should have done or what they should do to see that everything goes well. All right. So now I've been opportuned to speak to many people from different parts of Africa. And I have as well been opportuned to speak to many people around the world. And you know me, what I want is to see a prosperous black community, not a prosperous Nigeria alone, but a prosperous black community. Because you made a point, which I agree with you in everything you said. But I want to tell you that it is your generation that failed. It is your generation that destroyed Nigeria. And I will give you reasons. Now, if you are somebody who is very watchful and who has been to different states of Nigeria, who has been to Enugu, who has been to Lagos, who has been to all those places that the colonial master settled when they were in Nigeria, or even if you can bring for example, real map of the colonial masters, you see how they decentralized the railroad. If you go to Enugu town, you will see how the old planned by the colonial masters, you see how clear it is. If you go to Lagos, you will see their footprint there. when the colonial masters were in Nigeria, the economy was better than today. The early days when the colonial masters left Nigeria, the economy was better than today. Go to any state in Africa. The early days when the colonial masters left, the economy was better than it is today. Go to South Africa. When the whites were ruling South Africa, it is very true, it is very clear that the situation wasn't favorable to the black community. But now, let's study the life of South Africans, the economy of South Africans when the whites were ruling them, and now that the blacks have taken over. You see that South African economy has gone down to almost 90%. The standard ways of life has gone down. If you come to Nigeria, that is what you will see. If you go to Ghana, that is what you will see. If you go to Cameroon, that is what, if you go anywhere, you will see that it is clear that the life of blacks under the colonial masters was far better than it is now. And you will ask yourself, is it that blacks are not capable to rule themselves? Or is it that they do not have the quality brain, they do not have a high level of IQ that could manage things? Because now, I will give you another very clear example, because I was having a conversation with my South African friend yesterday, and I said, look at Qatar. Trump was there recently. Donald Trump told Americans, he said, the poorest man in Qatar, the poorest human being in Qatar is living a life like a billionaire in America. In USA, not America is the continent, but in United States of America. Now look at United Arab Emirates. A poorest person in United Arab Emirates is living a life like a billionaire in USA. Saudi Arabia is picking up. What makes those people rich? What are the companies that are there? You will find out that it's just oil. Now, go to Africa. Nigeria alone has more oil than Saudi Arabia, believe me. The only advantage Saudi Arabia has against Nigeria is that they have developed almost all the oil sectors in that country. But go to Nigeria. Nigeria has not even started using the resources in the land. Which you know, which I know. If you go to Ghana, the same thing. You go to Cameroon, the same thing. You go to anywhere, it is the same. These people who call themselves politicians do not want to develop what is on the ground, but they want to be embezzling the one that the colonial masters built. But fast forward, let's go back to this issue of what the youth did and what they should do. I want to tell Ecos Charity that his generation failed us because his generations destroyed the economy. But should we continue complaining? No, we have to do something. What do we have to do? What is my own opinion? I concur, I agree with Ecos Charity that what the youth need to do, I have said this time without number. Anywhere I have been opportunity to speak, I say it. I speak it out. Let me tell you something. These politicians now, they are in the business. The business they are into is sharing the wealth of the nation all over blacks, all over black community, all over Africa, especially in Nigeria. And it will be more than difficult. The most difficult thing here on earth is to release power to the people willingly. They will never do that. The people have to force them to change, or the people have to accept to remain in poverty, to remain underdeveloped. There is no part of Nigeria that will have up to 3 hours electricity in a day, non-stop. Look at, this is 2025. Where I am living, the light has never ever stopped for a second. And the electricity the people is asking you to provide is what they are going to be paying for, not free. Right? I do not blame the politicians, and I will never blame them. I would rather blame myself and my generation. Because if we really mean game, if we really mean business, we know what to do. If we are rugged enough to be unaliving each other in the name of I dey fly red beret, I dey fly black beret, I dey fly yellow beret, I dey fly green beret. If we rugged reach that level, why won't we gather together and say, man, what do we need to do? We need to do something to change our lives. But no one is talking about that. What we are good to do is to go to school, analyze ourselves in the name of you fuck up. You fuck up? That's what you said. What is the meaning of fuck up? Let's try to understand it. These people will use you, send their children abroad, and you'll be there thinking that you don't know what you are doing. I'm telling you the fact. So I am reminding the youth that the best thing Africa can do today in individual states where you are. I'm not saying a state as a continent, but I'm saying as a Ghanaian, as a Nigerian, as a Cameroonian, as a Tanzanian, as Ethiopian, wherever you find yourself in Africa, you've got to know that the youth, you guys got to come together, force the government to do what they need to do. If you don't do it, they will never change. My father believed that black community, our country is going to be better. That's what he told me. But here am I today, after how many years? Nothing changed. And you cannot if I ask you as a Nigerian, for example, what is your opinion? Do you think Nigeria will be better in the next 10, 20 years? You can't predict it because there is no evidence to predict that, to support it, that Nigeria will be better tomorrow or any state in Africa will be better tomorrow. No evidence, zero evidence. The only evidence now is for you to wake up and take your country back. Finish.